What's up, y'all? Capone Town Tony here, and welcome to another Ever Crisis video. So it is Wednesday. We got a pretty beefy content drop in Ever Crisis. We are at the start of a brand new crossover event. Well, it's the kind of a return of a crossover event. It is for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, because the game did just launch on PC about a week ago. Amazing game, by the way. I'm sure a lot of y'all know that already. But anyway, it's the start of a crossover, and we did start out with a limited crossover banner, and it is Aerith. I gotta say, man, I'm getting limited banner fatigue here, man, to the point where I probably can't go too deep on this banner. I'm just gonna tell you straight up, but I will go right into it and give you my thoughts on it. Oh, what is this? Okay, we're gonna try on one. Red 13's costume did return, but the focus of this video will be on Aerith. So Aerith, she got the Loveless Songstress. You know, if you played Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, this is the costume that she wears when she does sing No Promises to Keep. An incredible song. Yes, amazing moment in Rebirth. The whole Loveless play, you know, very memorable. One of my probably favorite parts of the whole game. Is really cool. But yeah, it looks amazing. White dress with the floral. The weapon looks really cool. And yeah, it's just, you know, it perfectly fits Aerith, right? So yeah, Loveless Songstress. We get ATB Boost, 10 points. So this is something new on a costume. So if you get 10 points in ATB Boost, that means you get 2.5 ATB at the start of the battle for Aerith. Honestly, I think that's kind of cool. ATB Boost is something you can only get on your guild weapons. You know, some specific guild weapons have them as an R ability. I actually kind of like this on a costume. You know, I don't really want to throw a whole weapon slot, you know, dedicated just to get ATB boost, right? I think on a costume, I think this is actually pretty neat. So, you know, and plus it's something different for Aerith, right? So I kind of like that. Soothing Song, buff, debuff extension, plus 40%, plus 10% HP. So kind of a similar thing that she's gotten on a bunch of her previous costumes. Couple other costumes she's had 60% buff debuff, which is good, but this one has 40 plus 10 healing potency, so I think it's a good combination of two different R abilities into one, essentially. But yeah, I really do like the ATB boost. You never know when this might come in handy for you know, specific, you know, fights, battle rankings, crashes, whatever, where you're just gonna need that little extra ATB to get in all those buffs or debuffs and whatnot, you know, before the boss gets off like a big attack or something like that, you know. So I kind of do like ATB boost here. You never know when you might need this. So yeah, I like the costume. And the Gambanteinn, I don't know. The weapon. So at this weapon, at OB0, we get magic heal cast, 42%, all allies. We get physical attack is increased, low to mid, all allies. We get HP is 40% or less. You get the +1 ATB gauge. So right off the bat, a lot of similarities here to something like Bahamut Rod, right? But this one does PATK Up. So if we go to OB1, PATK goes to low to mid. The duration stays the same. Pretty big difference, though, in the heal. You get 50% heal, and then you get 50% when it comes to the threshold for the ATB Gauge Boost. So I think there's actually a pretty significant difference between OB0 and OB1. So if you can't go too deep on this banner, I would still try to get to OB1. You know, 8% heal and 10% threshold, pretty big in my opinion. And then you get a little bit better in the R abilities too, which are heal and buff debuff extension. The support abilities are P-Attack boost, heal boost, very nice, and sigil boost. You really don't see sigil boost very often on an Aerith weapon, so that does kind of make it somewhat unique in that perspective. But based on this so far, I'll review the rest of it and I'll give my thoughts. OB6, we're looking at a pretty significant difference here. So you're getting just a little bit extra heal, 4 more %, but the P-Attack goes from mid to high. So that is a pretty significant difference. Low to mid, and this goes to mid to high, you know. The duration is still the same. And then you get 70% on the threshold. That is a really big difference. So mid to high, 70% threshold, 40-27 on the R abilities. OB10, you get 4 extra seconds on the duration, 3 extra % on the heal, and you get 90% threshold. So yeah, OB6 to OB10, pretty significant when it comes to the threshold. OB0 to OB1, you know, yeah, pretty significant from mid to high, low to mid, right? When it comes to PATK Up, 4639 R abilities. So yeah, I mean, this is a really good weapon. It's kind of just like a combination of a lot of her previous weapons, right? So yeah, the main weapon that comes to mind previously is her Bahamut Rod, which is her anniversary weapon. Very, very similar, but the main difference here is that this boosts P attack mid to high, and the Bahamut Rod would go, what? It would start low to mid, and then it would just stay at mid to mid at OB 6 or above. But the really good thing about Bahamut Rod was the R abilities, fantastic R abilities, because it had boost magic attack all allies, which is just an amazing stat stick for your like magic setups. And then it also had the Asuna all heal instead of the sigil boost, and that Asuna all heal is extremely nice when you need it. You don't need it a lot, but when you do actually need it for certain situations, it is very nice to have, right? So in my opinion, I think Bahamut Rod is better, you know, but this weapon, I don't know. I'd say if you already have a Bahamut Rod, if you already have, especially if you already have a Kamara wand where you can already boost physical attack with Aerith, even at 4 ATB as well, right? Kamara wand, you can boost physical attack and magic defense with 1 4 ATB cast. OB6, it goes high automatically, right? So if I were to boost physical attack AoE, I would use Kamara wand if you have it. I would say if you don't have Kamara wand, you don't have Bahamut Rod, I think this is a fantastic pull. Absolutely a weapon you would try to get to OB6. For me personally, I'm probably not going to OB6 this weapon, just knowing I'm probably going to pull on Barret later, and half anniversary is coming up next month, I think. So you know, my crystals are limited, resources are limited. You know, you can't pull on every freaking limited banner in this game because the game is just. Aerith just literally had a limited banner last month, like, and I already put a lot of resources toward that. I can't go crazy on 2 back-to-back Aerith limited banners, man. The game is just going insane with limited banners. It's ridiculous. But that's just a whole other thing, right? But that's a reason why I can't go too deep in this banner. I will probably get the costume, because like I said, I do like the ATB boost on the costume. It's something different, right? And you never know when you might need that. So I do like it from that perspective. But for the weapon itself, I will probably just try to get this one to OB1, and I'll probably be happy with that, because you'll get the low to mid for the P attack up with the heal at the same time. So right, also, yeah, I guess you could say it is. Yeah, it's a lot like Bahamut Rod, man. The heal, the ATB Gauge Boost, which is very nice. This thing is really nice if you don't have Bahamut Rod. It does feel really good when you just boost ATB of your allies, especially in like long battles where your Aerith is like getting targeted a lot. You'll get this triggered a lot in battle, so it is really nice, especially if you get 70% better at OB6. You'll be able to trigger it a lot. But yeah, P attack is increased, is great to have on an Aerith. But if, like I said, if you have a Kamara wand already, I feel you don't need to get another weapon that kind of does the same thing. Yeah, it's weird, man. It's situational, right? Yeah, like this will be better in certain situations compared to a Bahamut Rod or compared to a Kamara wand. It's combining a physical attack heal with a heal at the same time, or physical attack up with a heal at the same time. Where a Kamara wand, you're only getting the status up without a heal, right? I mean, it's situational, right? This will be better than your other limited weapons if you have them. I have them all. But, you know, if you already have those limited weapons as well, I don't think you really need to go ham on this banner and to get another weapon at like OB6 or better if you just don't have the resources, right? If you're a light spender, free to play, right? But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts. If you're someone that doesn't have Kamara wand and you want to get a P attack all allies up weapon for Aerith, because she is the best support in the game, then I would recommend it. If you don't have Bahamut Rod either, I strongly recommend it too, because of that ATB boost up. So yeah, I think it's a good weapon, great weapon. I don't think it's super necessary for a lot of the not whale spinners, but the ones that have supported Aerith all along, like me, right? I will get the weapon probably to OB1 and be happy with it, and just get this costume as well. Because, yeah, I mean, if I were sitting better on crystals, I would probably go deep. Could possibly go deeper, but at the same time, man, it's like, you know, my Aerith, I feel, is already super OP. She's already extremely powerful. Yeah, this will give her a slightly more versatility if you do get this to OB6, but I also am not kind of sweating getting it to OB6 either. So yeah. The other costume you can get in this banner is the Hellhound for Red 13. They boosted the HP from 10 to 15, so it is nice because you automatically get the 30% up compared to the 15%. Flame Frost Fangs, I guess, is, you know, it's okay. I mean, I've defaulted to this costume a lot because I did draw on the Cowgirl Tifa on the first time the Rebirth crossover happened, and you did kind of just get this costume along the way. And yeah, I've been using this a lot. I mean, it's fine. Yeah, I don't really use it for the damage. You know, I like it for the HP, and, you know, fire and ice resist is nice in certain situations. So yeah, it is what it is. Leather collar, I don't know. He didn't get a weapon for this. It's so weird. That was a weird thing. When the Rebirth crossover first happened, they gave Red 13 this costume, but they didn't give him a weapon. So I think like a month or two later, they finally gave him the Ivy collar, which was supposed to be the weapon that was going to pair with this, but they just made it its own separate banner. So yeah, it was kind of a weird thing. But yeah, this crossover banner lasts until February 26th. Also, by the way, Barret's ultimate is in this banner as well, which I will show you right now. It is the missing score, his best weapon. So, best weapon from the OG FF7. So, physical, it does the Guardian Aura, which does physical resistance is increased by 50%, and magic resistance is increased by 50%, and the duration is 15 seconds. I'm not sure if this applies to buff debuff. It's probably just like its own like status effect. But, yeah, that's really, really good. So essentially, I think it just like cuts damage in half from what I saw like on the trailer video for it on Twitter. So if you're like taking 20,000 damage from an enemy and you have this applied, you'll just take 10,000. You know, that's my understanding at least. So yeah, it's very, very, very powerful. I think it's really, really good, especially for a character like Barret, whose like whole, you know, job is to kind of be the tank in a battle. So I'm assuming whatever weapon Barret gets in his banner is probably going to have something to do with Provoke or something like that, right? Which will be super, super good for him. It also has Enhanced Interruption, Veil, so you get 25 points, which means it applies Veil to self when interrupting an enemy, 25% max HP of the affected. So I don't think this is anything crazy. So once you break the sigils on an enemy, interrupt them, you'll get Veil on Barret, which, you know, I think it's just kind of whatever. If it applied Veil to the whole party, I think that'd be a lot better. But just the Barret, I don't know. He's already kind of the tank anyway, and I guess this makes him tankier. You know, I don't think it's anything great, but, you know, it's there. So, yeah. And you get boost magic defense, which is, you know, 20 points, fantastic. So you automatically get magic defense to 30% up. So, yeah, I think it's a really, really good ultimate weapon. I will probably draw on the Barret banner. And like I said, I'll probably just get Aerith's costume. So I do hope I get this. I can't do the pity for it, so I just had to hopefully get lucky. If y'all are pulling on any of these banners, I wish y'all the best of luck too. Yeah. It's a good ultimate weapon. I would like to have this one. So yeah, that is the Rebirth banner. I guess I can go, what could you combine with this weapon for Aerith? Well, like I said, you can combine her. If you have a lot of her limited weapons, you have a lot of different choices, right? I mean, but if you don't have any of her limited weapons, you could go with something like a Sun Umbrella, which does physical defense down, magic defense down. I think Fuller Wand will probably be better though, because you're doing physical defense down mid at 3 ATB, so that's pretty cool. If you need the defense up, you could do Mithril Rod, which does physical defense and magic defense up. So yeah, if you need the defense up when you're already boosting attack AOE to the whole party. So I think those are a few good weapons you can combine with it. Probably these two right here, Mithril Rod and Floral Wand. But like I said, she has a lot of other limited weapons too that you can combine. So, you know, like her Terror Rod is great. You know, it just depends on the situation, right? So, yeah, I think this is a good weapon for Aerith, but something I don't think is super, super necessary if you already have a lot of her kit already. So, you know, for me, I'm not going to pull too deep on this. But I will get the costume because it does look amazing. And plus ATB Boost, like I said. I am more excited for Barret when he comes out. He's not going to be coming out until 2 weeks. Next week is going to be Yuffie. And then, yeah, Barret in 2 weeks after, you know, from now. I'm really, really curious to see what Barret gets. And just keep in mind, you know, like I said, We're probably going to get half anniversary next month. So you got to think about what you're going to do with your crystals here. I think half anniversary is probably be better value overall. So I think crossovers are skippable in a lot of cases. I think the best weapon to ever come out of a crossover has been Kamura Wand, and I think I still stick by that. Yeah, I think anniversaries are a lot of weapons, and those anniversaries have been just super good, and I think have been better value overall. But that's just my opinion. Half anniversary will probably be pretty big. So yeah, if you have to make a choice of this Rebirth crossover, half anniversary, I would probably say half anniversary, but you know, it just depends. We haven't seen the rest of the weapons in this crossover yet. But also, like I said, if you don't have Kamura, you don't have Bahamut Rod, I think this is a good pull for Aerith. So, all right. I probably sound like a broken record. I said this probably the same thing like 10 times. But anyway, that's my thoughts on the Aerith banner. Are y'all going to pull on this? Are y'all going to wait and see what the other banners are, like Yuffie and Barret? Let me know in the comments below. And yeah, if y'all enjoy my Ever Crisis content, please give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all on the next one. Later.